It's the final day of the regular season in the CAA. Still 2 spots up for grabs in next week's tournament. We'll sort it out over the next couple hours here on LSN. For now, our focus on Towson, Maryland. The Tigers know they're in. A win, they secure the top seed. But for Hofstra, they have to win to keep their postseason hopes alive. It's the Pride visiting the Tigers on our CAA Game of the Week here on LSN. And with that, we welcome you alongside Marcus Holman. I'm Travis Eldridge. Marcus, this is what we play for here, to have everything still on the line as we get ready to look ahead to May. This should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, final regular season weekend here all across college lacrosse, but specifically here in the CAA. Towson hosting. It's a beautiful day on the East Coast. We've got great weather. This is going to be a battle today. Hofstra obviously has to win to keep their conference playoff hopes alive, so I'm excited.
So the Pride need to win. They'll also be scoreboard watching later on today if they have a chance to possibly make the tournament. Let's focus on this Pride team. They've battled some injuries throughout. We'll keep an eye on their attackman, Gerard Kane, transfer from Ohio State. He's helped trigger this offense, leads the team in assists and points.
Yeah, I think Hofstra fans at home, obviously you miss an incredible goal scorer like Ryan Tierney. I'm sure we'll bring his name up and the great career that he had at Hofstra. But Kane has done a good job filling in on that left side of the Hofstra offense. You know, wearing number 99, you've got to be a good player. You've got to be scoring goals and making plays, and he's certainly done that this season for Hofstra.
On the Towson side of things, James Avanzato, the transfer from Maryland, he's been key to triggering the offense.
Avanzato's a senior, and he's a really balanced player. He comes into this game with 26 goals, 22 assists. You see he can score turning the corner. He can set his feet and score. He's got a really nice right-handed release, and he's part of this balanced scoring offense on Towson that had 9 different goal scorers last week in their win over Fairfield.
So we'll keep an eye on those two as we've got Pride and Tigers coming up just a couple of minutes away from opening face-off here in Maryland. We welcome you back to Towson, Maryland. Travis Eldridge and Marcus Holman with you as we are about set for opening face-off at Johnny Unitas Stadium between the Towson Tigers and the Hofstra Pride. As we get ready to take a look at the starting goalies in this one, a couple of veteran goalies here at this point of the season. We'll start with the Pride. Matt Gates has been the starter throughout the season for Hofstra. Goals against average just over 10. This defense has actually been pretty solid this year for the Pride. He's stopping 53% of the shots that he's seen so far this year. On the other end, Towson goalie Shane Brennan has been around this campus for a long time. His 6th year with the Tigers program, and he has been terrific, especially in CAA play. In CAA play, he's averaging 15 saves per game. Overall, he's 6-4 as a starter this year, 11.36 goals against average. This is a Tigers program that knows they will be playing in Thursday's semifinals that'll take place in Philadelphia. Games you'll see here on LSN on Thursday evening as we take a look at the standings. UMass, the other team that knows they are in the conference tournament. That's thanks to beating Drexel last night, a game you saw here on LSN. So the question is, Delaware, Fairfield, Drexel, Hofstra, all technically still alive for a chance to play in those semifinals. We'll find out here over the next couple hours who will punch their ticket to fill out those other 2 spots. Drexel, despite the loss last night, still very much alive, but they will be scoreboard watching throughout the day today. The other game we will keep an eye on once it starts, Delaware taking on Fairfield. That's a game in Connecticut starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a game you can also see here on Lax Sports Network. It'll be on our 2nd channel here on LSN. So starting at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, we will keep tabs on that game as well, as we got a lot to sort out, but we should know everything, Marcus, by about 3 o'clock Eastern Time.
We will. And it's been an exciting season, not just in the CAA, but I think across college lacrosse. You know, kind of our first full season back after COVID. There's been a lot of joy, obviously, watching these young players compete. I know from our end and from their end as well, to be able to run around and play the game that they love, especially on a beautiful day like today.
This is what it's all about, opening face-off Matt Constantinides had a beat on it. However, it's Hofstra that comes away with the ground ball. Still a battle for it. But it's Corey Kale, the short stick D-midi, one of the face-off wings for the Pride, who wins it. He's got to deal with still some hounding defense. Reese Potter takes a shot, but he'll get it into the offensive end for Hofstra. We'll meet the Pride offense. Starting at attack along with Kane, who you mentioned in the open, is Dylan McIntosh, along with Sam Lutfi. Starting midfield, Rory Jones, Griffin Turner, and Sterling Ardrey.
Yeah, and I think for Towson coming in, scoring, just under 10 goals a game, I think 11 is going to be the number that they're going to have to get to if they want to win today.
Well,
good
that
start.
Works out well. Dylan McIntosh, the bounce shot for the senior from British Columbia, and the Pride strike first.
I guess I gave them some good juju there with the intro, but it's McIntosh just unassisted here. Towson really not ready to slide. McIntosh is a big right-handed Canadian player, so you see him keep his stick to the middle of the field. I think he's able to just finish that one 5-hole, and that's an ideal start for Hofstra.
Remember, it was Dylan McIntosh for Hofstra last year at the end of the season that really caught fire. Final game of the regular season, Hofstra needed a win. He just went off in the final game on that Friday night against Fairfield. Also had a terrific tournament last year for Hofstra as they made the run to the tournament championship before losing to Drexel. Maybe this is his time of year as they get another face-off win.
No doubt. Call him, Mr. May. McIntosh Mr. May as he's making plays late into the season here for Hofstra.
I like that. And the big story here for Hofstra, winning some face-offs. Brian Herbert under 50% on the season. And Constantinides has been terrific. 57% in conference play. So the Pride winning face-off early, that's a good sign. It's Gerard Kane. He goes all Mack truck on the defense. A dream start for Hofstra.
Tough dodging here from Kane. And it's back-to-back unassisted goals. Hofstra just coming out playing physical. It looked like for a second Kane was in trouble here. I think he's got a triple team on him. And he's able to protect his stick, keep it vertical, and then finish with a nice overhand shot. Love it.
Kane, the sophomore out of Georgia, played a PG year at the Hill Academy, so maybe some of those Canadian influences feeding into his game from that year. We were playing with Brody Merrill's team.
No doubt. It's a contagious style of play, and Canadians are known for their superb stick work and box lacrosse where you can touch the ball more, and Kane certainly showing elements of that, kind of with that like twister finish, keeping that stick in his left hand.
So Constantinides wins the face-off. And we'll get our first look at this Towson offense today. This is Josh Weber, part of that starting midfield with Kyle Berkeley and Alex Reed. Feed inside to score. This is a guy who's been kind of ice cold in CAA play. Nick DeMeo, good sign here. A low to high rip to get the Tigers on the board.
3 possessions, 3 goals. I think this is kind of how the pace was last week too, Travis, with a bunch of goal scoring early, but this is kind of Towson's bread and butter. You have Berkeley, the initiator, and DeMeo curling back to his left hand. As a Towson fan, you'd like to see DeMeo scoring early. Again, he's struggled shooting, but nice start for both offenses on both sides of the field.
DeMeo now just 4 shots away from setting the single-season shots record in Tigers program history, previously set by Joe Sider back in 2016. Gives you an idea what kind of season Nick DeMeo's had. He is not shy when it comes to getting his shot off.
And you know what they say, Travis, about great shooters, man. You got to shoot to get hot, and you got to shoot to stay hot. So, again, I imagine he'll probably break that record today. Probably looking to get between 8 to 10 shots for him on Towson's offense.
And Sean Nadelin hoping that he shoots and stays hot here in CAA play. Started the season pretty strong. There it is. 2 for 2 is Nick DeMeo, and the Tigers answer with a pair.
Berkeley to DeMeo. That's the combination. And you see Berkeley just gets the ball off of a nice skip pass here. And he's able to attack this short stick. Once you get to the middle of the field as an offensive player, your options open up, right? I think Berkeley could have potentially shot that, but he makes the one more pass down to the crease. And, that's just the style of play that Coach Nadalon loves to see out of his offense, sharing the ball and passing up a good shot for a great one.
And another face-off win. Here comes Reese Potter, the short stick teammate. Avanzado trying to track it down in the corner. Hofstra gooses it away. Ball kicked over the sideline, and that'll go to the Pride.
Yeah, you better be wearing your elbow pads when the ball's on the ground today with these two defenses. Coaches, guys that like to check, and it's definitely going to be physical when the ball's on the ground, and those are going to be the determining factor for possessions, which ultimately lead to goals.
Long Island versus Baltimore. This is always a fun rivalry. And no matter what the records are when they play in the CAA season, these two always put on a show. Exactly.
And I'm a little bit biased towards the Baltimore region, but I know the Long Island boys are tough. And, Coach Tierney is an incredible coach. He's done a great job with this Hofstra program. And, it's a nice little rivalry between the regions here.
These two teams splitting the two games in the regular season last year as McIntosh dodges in. He ends up in the cage. That's never going to work out well, but it actually does. The flag down. So we got the flag called. Unless it's on him for going into the goalie. Let's see. He did make contact.
Yeah, which it might be. And this is one of the toughest kind of deliberations in college lacrosse right now, because we have that, no fly zone, if you will, around the goalie crease. It was tough to tell if it looked like the flags were late. So in my opinion, that would be under the assumption that this foul is going to be on Dylan McIntosh for diving into the goalie.
When they reinstituted the dive and then put the new design inside the crease, the focus was to protect the goalie, because that was the whole reason, really, that the dive was taken out of the game in the first place. And so any type of contact, the officials really cognizant of, and he went right into the knees of Brennan. Obviously, he wasn't trying to. He got pushed to the back as well.
Right.
But just feel like more often than not, they err on the side of the goalie, and it looks like it is McIntosh going to the box.
So that, and this would be my opinion. It looks like they're going to call a flag on both teams. It's a push on Towson, but it's a 1-minute foul for diving into the goalie's crease. So I think Towson will be all even for 30 seconds, and then I think Towson is going to have an advantage for 30 seconds.
I think you're right. You got Mo Silla in the box there for the Tigers, and also McIntosh in there. So each team has somebody in the box. We've got 5-on-5 here for the beginning part, and then you're right, Marcus. Looks like the Tigers will go on the man up after that.
Nice little deliberation here. Let the fans continue to pour into the stands here. If you were late to find some parking, got a little delay, and we're ready to get back after it here.
So it is a minute penalty on McIntosh for interference, as there's a nice pressure out, and we've got another flag down. So we were moving and grooving to start, and now we've got all sorts of stuff going on.
That looks like a conduct foul to me. You could see the ref pulling out his card there to probably designate who the in-home penalty is going to be. It might have been a foul on one of the coaches on the Hofstra sideline. I believe the culprit of that would probably be Seth Tierney. But
yeah, he's the loud vocal leader of that bench.
He definitely is, and not shy when it comes to speaking to the officials, but obviously hurts your team there. I think there's a line, that you have to find as a coach when you speak to the officials. Some officials welcome dialogue and some don't. So we'll be 5-on-4 here, I think, for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The official ruling in our scorebook is too many players on Hofstra, but it could have been a combination of things. As Berkeley looks at it. Now Schilling at the top.
And these are the type of situations, this is why lacrosse is so awesome, because you don't really practice 6-on-4s or half penalties. There you see Hofstra release, and they're able to take possession here after kind of a flubbed pass by Towson.
Yeah, for a second, the Tigers had 6-on-4 because Hofstra was still getting the guy that they had released coming on, and the Tigers not able to make the play, and the ball comes ricocheting out, and Hofstra's guy, who was making it 6-on-5, comes and picks up the ground ball. So all sorts of stuff going on. Now the Pride can finish off the rest of that initial penalty, and we are back to even strength.
Travis, if you and I weren't engaged already to start, we definitely are now because of, that kind of unique situation.
That is a shot. Just high, the backup there for Lutfi. Sam Lutfi, the junior from Massapequa, 9 points on the season. This is Matt Elder, part of the second midfield unit here today for the Pride. He inverts his man behind. Elder shot just wide. Rebound there for Kane.
He's going.
And he scores! The fake behind the back. And he gets that left hand free. He's got a pair.
I think Kane is even bigger than I initially thought watching some film on him. He is thick, and he's not afraid to use his body at the island. Kind of looking like a combination of Matt Rambo and Connor Fields here with the fake behind the back and then the step away shot to that low opposite corner. That's a pretty take by Kane.
Yeah, he's got the body of Rambo and the move right there of Connor Fields. Takes a little bit from both. 6'2", 225, the sophomore's listed as. As he got Herber battling with Constantinides. We've also seen Chase Patterson at the faceoff dot for Hofstra the early part of this one. That's out of bounds, and it'll go Towson's way. Last touch by the Pride.
So we've seen on Hofstra's end, obviously 3 unassisted goals, and on Towson's end, 2 assisted goals. So maybe a contrast in styles here offensively.
Weber goes in. Gates eats that one up. Big rebound. And the loose ball is scooped up to the corner by Tim Haggerty.
Nice ground ball. Protect your stick.
Gates comes behind the cage to help create an outlet.
Uh-oh. Got numbers.
Long pull opportunity. McIntosh cashing in. He's got 2 as well. Back-to-back goals, and the Pride back up a pair.
This is why lacrosse is just the best team sport on the planet, in my opinion, because one hand can feed the other, right? A nice save by your goalie. You get a tough ground ball from your defenseman. You're able to clear it out and push transition. And this is just an awesome job with spacing here. Nice job by this Hofstra long pull to understand where the slide is coming from and then give it to your goal scorers, baby. Dylan McIntosh in the right spot and high to high, righty. Love that.
First assist of Will Delaney's career, the LSM, as Constantinides bounces it high. Delaney.
Yeah, sorry for not knowing Delaney's name there, but that's a really underrated skill to catch that ball, right, and be able to get it out of your stick quickly, knowing where that slide is coming from. Nice job there.
Delaney, a guy who played at Episcopal Academy outside Philadelphia, playing for former Princeton coach Chris Bates, as a spin and a score for Austin Stewart. We go back and forth. The efficiency on offense for both sides here early on is high.
Travis, is it me? Is it the offensive-minded color commentator? bringing some goals to the table here. This is just an individual effort. Austin Stewart setting up his right hand, and he's low to high, top right. You can tell he's feeling himself after a shot like that. Awesome take.
I mean, you're right. We had 11 combined goals between Towson and Fairfield in the first quarter last week. Things settled down quite a bit after that as the Tigers went on to win 12-8. But we are off and rolling again.
Yeah. And I imagine they will too here, but you never know. Again, what if we saw 30, 35 goals this game? That'd be fun.
I mean, you never know. Towson, not normally a team that will play like that, but they have played a couple of games this year that have been a little bit more higher scoring. That 16-15 triple overtime game against Richmond stands out.
Yeah, yep.
That was one of the crazier games we've seen in all of college lacrosse this year. McIntosh, that short stick matchup of Mo Silla. Silla, a guy who's played with the pole and with the short stick throughout his career here for the Tigers. Lutfi moves it along. Near side, Elder. McIntosh. Shot clock winding down on the doorstep. What a look. Elder's got one.
An incredible feed from McIntosh. Just operating out of his bread and butter spot, which is that righty wing. And you see here, he's able, we talked about getting to the middle of the field, right? It just opens up so much more for you. And I think Towson just caught ball watching there. I think when you think about Canadians, they usually don't shoot outside of 8 to 10 yards. But a nice job by McIntosh there using a stick fake to freeze the defense, and then he's able to throw an incredible skip pass to the pipe. Great offense by Hofstra there.
You had to know Hofstra was going to be in desperation mode coming in to this game. They've got to win to even have a chance to play on here in this 2022 season, and they have showed up in a big way in this first quarter.
Yeah, aggressive, challenging their matchups and finishing their shots on that offensive end. I don't know if Brennan has a save yet.
Technically one, but yeah, I mean, you're right. I think it was. It may have even just been a shot clock reset that maybe should.
Or the crease dive. The crease dive could have. Yep.
As Hofstra turns it over. I mean,
those are killer. Those kind of unforced turnovers after a nice momentum goal, but just got to be sharp with the stick work there.
Gerritsen Kalia floats it over McNamara, and he'll bring it over midfield. There was still plenty of time to get it over half for the Tigers, and they'll get it to the offensive midfield. Remember, this Tigers midfield unit got Ryan Swain back after the suspension last week. Missed last week's game due to a play against Delaware a couple of weeks ago. Coach Sean Nadeline saying he immediately apologized to the team and the coaching staff, realized what he had done. As that pass just a little off for DeMeo inside, and a ground ball for Hofstra.
Nice ground ball there by Corey Kale. I think that's a short stick defensive midfielder for Hofstra. Again, these, we talked last week about those guys not getting a lot of glory, but as a defensive player, just such a valuable skill is being able to scoop up a ground ball the first time you touch it. Don't bobble it, don't give the other team a shot at it. Nice job by Kale there.
And Rory Jones goes right to the rack. Hofstra is on fire.
This is just speed and toughness down the alley. Put your shoulder into a guy, all right? Straight overhand shot. I think that might have hit off of Brennan's helmet on that near side. Rory Jones, the local boy from St. Paul's out of the MIAA, with a nice goal down the alley.
Having a nice redshirt freshman season at his 19th goal of the year as Constantinides went early. We'll give it back to Hofstra.
And you can kind of hear the sideline energy ramping up for Hofstra. You know, backs up against the wall, and knowing Coach Tierney, his team's going to fight and scrap.
McIntosh! Woo! He's got a first quarter hat trick.
I'm not sure why they haven't put the poll on McIntosh yet. I think he sees Towson not ready. You see the defenders trying to communicate to each other, hey, let's get into a sliding position here. McIntosh sees that they're not ready, anticipates it, gets to the middle of the field, and buries one.
So a timeout, Towson will take it as well. All Hofstra here in the first quarter. They've got a 4-goal lead with their backs against the ropes. Back here in Towson, Maryland, Hofstra coming in needing a win to keep their hopes alive at looking ahead to the postseason, and they've come out roaring at the start. They're up 7-3 here on the road in our CAA Game of the Week on LSN. So the scenario for Hofstra, you have to win here this afternoon first. Then they will turn their attention, if they can get that done, to the Fairfield and Delaware game that starts at 1 o'clock Eastern time. They need Fairfield to beat the Blue Hens later on today. If that situation happens, Hofstra wins, Fairfield wins, the Pride would then be in the 4-team tournament. So it's in front of them. They're just going to need some help if they want to make their way to the tournament on Thursday.
Yeah, and better to be in this position, I guess, because, you know, now your only job right now as a player is to go out and win this game. And then, you know, whatever happens, happens. So, but they've certainly proved that they're ready to fight and scrap to get in this last spot of the CAA playoffs.
Yeah, I will say this is the easier situation. If that game starts at noon and your game is at 1, and then by halftime you know what happened, that's a much more difficult situation to deal with.
Yep.
Another face.
Face off for Hofstra, and there you see Towson finally putting the pull on McIntosh, making that switch. Definitely need to make that adjustment defensively there.
See Donovan Rock now rocking that number 13 we saw Ryan Tierney wear throughout his Hofstra career. That's gutsy to be the next guy.
Someone's got to do it.
It's true.
See if he can make some plays here for Hofstra.
A freshman as it not taken away. Reese Potter, who was terrific last week, takes it, goes the other way. Jump shot for Avanzato. Talked about him in the open. He's got one today, and it's back to a 3-goal game.
I really like this kid's game, Avanzato. He shoots the ball from different release points. And obviously this play starts on the defensive end for Towson. Reese Potter is a guy who I think is just like the heart and soul of their defensive midfield unit. He's able to scoop up this ground ball. And then young players, again, watch where this pass is located. It's right on Avanzato's ear, which allows him to just seamlessly transfer into a shooting position, and he cans it low and away.
Constantinides wins that one forward. It's been a 50-50 battle now. Each team with 6 face-off wins the beginning part of this game.
And we're back to our 11-goal first quarter.
We still got 3 minutes left.
Awesome. I know.
I hope you had the over. Alex Reed back in with that first midfield unit. Here's Weber, sophomore from Sykesville, Maryland. Weber on the run, left-hand shot wide.
Good take getting to the middle of the field there. Even if it's with your weak hand, it's a good shot because that's probably either a goal or you retain possession. Looks like Hofstra jumped into a zone off the end line here.
Yeah, it's a good call, and shot sails way high there for Towson.
And that's the zone, late in the shot clock is become somewhat of a common theme. It forces the offense, to get organized into a different set. And if they're slow to do that, then, you can chew up shot clock and get the ball back.
Just like that. That was a shot eaten up by Tom Ford. He took it in the back. And then Hofstra wins the ground ball battle.
Tom Ford. No designer shoes on him right now. That's just all grit. Eating a shot like that. That's awesome.
Senior from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Went to Bishop Shanahan High School. Guy who's been a key part of this Hofstra defense for the last several years. Here's Sterling Ardrey, part of the starting midfield here today. The Charlotte, North Carolina native has a couple of split dodges just about every week that can make your jaw drop. I think Seth Tierney's been waiting for it to click for him on a consistent basis because he can get free with some of the best of them.
Yeah. Hofstra going into the invert here.
It's Griffin Turner on that far side as it poked away, nearly squirted past Brennan as Ardrey's there to pick up the ground ball.
I think they gave a reset for that.
They did.
According to the scoreboard, I guess it tipped off of Brennan's stick. Tough break there for Towson.
Yeah, very tough. Turner thought about it, then he saw all the attention. He was going to pay the price on that one. Nice catch by Jones. Wing dodge Lutfi as a short stick matchup. Trying to get the left hand free, shoots it wide.
I think you hear some yellow calls from the sideline. This is kind of the gray area from coach to player where, the shot clock is equal to the game clock. You don't want to give Towson another shot with the ball here, but you also want to stay in attack mode and stay aggressive.
About a couple second difference here at the end of the quarter. Here's Kane already with the pair.
He's coming back.
Oh, nice poke check. McNamara got a piece of that. Maynard picks it up in the corner. Couple of seconds left here for the Tigers. Zingalia sends it. And that brings us to the end of this first quarter. So 11 combined goals here in the first. Hofstra coming out red hot. They need to win to stay alive with their postseason hopes. A first-half hat trick from Dylan McIntosh. That'll help. 7-4 after one here on LSN. They got shots playing on the loudspeaker here at Johnny Unitas Stadium, and that's what we had in that first quarter. 7-4, Hofstra with the lead. 11 combined goals between the Tigers and the Pride after one. Travis Eldridge, Marcus Holman back with you here on LSN. Marcus, the shots are flying here early.
Shots are flying. Goals are being scored. And, something we spoke about at the break, I think, is just late in the spring here, these offenses just have really, really incredible chemistry, right? By this time, you've been practicing almost since September. The lines are pretty set. And I think just generally to start games, offenses are just a little bit quicker to what they want to do, and then the defenses have to react. But we'll see if we settle in here and get some more stops on the defensive unit.
This is Kyle Berkeley, a save high by Gates.
Right on cue. Matt Gates, incredible save, stick side. Good to get his confidence going to start the second quarter.
Berkeley has been an efficient goal scorer here as of late. He's got 3 straight multi-goal games. Guy who started the season really strong, had 4 goals in the season opener against Hopkins. Kind of went cold in 4 games without a goal, and now he's caught fire again here in the last 3.
Yeah, and I like him with a hard take there, trying to create his own shot. Because as the game goes on, we've seen him with 2 assists already. That'll just continue to open up his feeding opportunities.
Ardrey beats his man on the run, eaten up by Brennan.
There's that separation from Ardrey, but it looked like that might have gotten deflected on its way to the goal.
Yeah, it might have. Quick outlet pass. Hund trying to pass it across. That's deflected by Hofstra. I see Ryan Drenner there on the near side. That 2017 Towson team is being celebrated here at halftime. Team that went to the Final Four, lost to Ohio State championship weekend. What a year that was for the Tigers.
Yeah. that was a fun team to watch. Drenner, Joe Sider, who you mentioned earlier, an incredible shooter. Special year for the Tigers.
On the far side, spin move, shot high. Chop Gallagher having an opportunity there.
Love that name. Should be on the all-name team.
Yeah, for sure. Look inside. Somehow staying up with the ball was John Bender. Towson keeps the possession. That was unbelievable.
And I think Gates got a piece of that, too. That was a great save.
It did reset the shot clock.
Yeah. Looks like Hofstra's back in that zone.
Nice fake by Stewart. But he tried to spin through too many blue jerseys. Ground ball one. Here by McIntosh, the close defenseman, the grad student, grad transfer from Mount St. Mary's.
Yeah, nice initial move there, but just trying to do too much. And that's what a zone is helpful for, is that you have guys defensively that are watching the ball and ready to help, and just collapsed on there for the turnover.
So a strong start defensively for Hofstra to start this second quarter.
Yeah.
Pride team that's lost 2 in a row, scored just 7 goals against Drexel 2 weeks ago, only 9 goals against UMass last week. They had 7 in the first quarter today. What a difference a week can make.
Yeah.
Dodging from behind, it's Elder. Trying to take advantage of a short stick matchup, shoots just wide. The Hofstra team that's been banged up throughout the year, they've just been trying to piece it together, get everybody healthy at the right time. Hasn't quite worked out, but if the players on the field shoot like this, Seth Tierney will be okay.
Yes, I spoke with Coach Tierney a couple months ago, just catching up with him and talking to him about the season, and he mentioned the injuries. Just, that's a tough break. It could happen to any team at any time, and you've got to kind of play the cards that you're dealt. So certainly guys stepping up today.
Look out here, Maynard with the cage open, fighting for that ground ball. Hofstra wins it. Kane goes behind the back to Lutfi. No numbers for Hofstra, so he backs it out.
Smart decision. I mean, if I'm Lufty there, I'm probably shooting that just to try to get on the highlight reel. Of
course you are.
Smart, Kane with the nifty pass off the ground, but smart decision. And that's, that's leadership. That's accountability, right? It's not about one guy. It's about what's the best decision, what's the highest percentage for our team right now. And, studies show that you're likely to score on, almost 2/3 of possessions after you get a ride back off of a failed clear. So we'll see what Hofstra does here.
Here's Jones at the top of the box on the run. That's a tough shot fading away, and Brennan read it. Quickly ahead. Long ball chance for Kobe Smith.
What a look.
Avanzato wasted no time finding his long pole because he knows the dynamic playmaking ability of Kobe Smith.
Yeah. And you see Kobe right there just go over and shake his hand and be like, damn, good look. I'll can that next one. That was incredible.
I mean, Kobe Smith, a guy we know is likely going to be playing in the PLL Cup this summer. He's got 4 goals, 5 points so far this season. Canned one last week against Fairfield. As on the other end, Hofstra being led by Dylan McIntosh, the senior for British Columbia, having a terrific start to this game. A hat trick in the first quarter, also has an assist. He's really gotten what he's wanted so far today.
Yeah, I think if Towson had to do it again, they probably would have gotten the pole to him a little bit earlier. But, when you could dodge on the first possession of the game and score a goal, that's just naturally going to get your confidence going. And then you saw there with the step down in transition, and he was able to get to the middle of the field here. So a nice plethora of different style of scoring from McIntosh. Obviously, he's a strong right-handed player, but we'll see if he can keep that rolling for this offense.
McIntosh, a player that came here to Hofstra, had a tremendous freshman year. Was part of the all-rookie team in the CAA, a 14-game starter. Comes back in 2019, was off to a great start at 12 goals in the early going, and then in a game against Villanova, he broke his jaw, really struggled to get back in. That's such a painful injury. Struggled to get back in the rhythm there that year. Obviously, COVID hits in 2020, so he comes back last year, and once again, just took him a while to get going. Finally did there toward the end of the regular season and in the conference tournament where Hofstra went to the CAA championship game, and it's felt the same way here this year. As this offense is trying to reinvent themselves, he's trying to figure out where he fits in. Well, maybe just in the nick of time figuring it out here in his senior year.
Yeah, exactly. We mentioned, losing such a dynamic goal scorer like Ryan Tierney. Coach Seth Tierney probably knew coming into this year that it was going to be an adjustment to see who's going to step up and what different roles guys have. But McIntosh has been pretty steady on the right-handed side there with 20-plus goals and obviously showed his feeding ability earlier with that skip pass.
Here's Berkeley working against this Hofstra zone. DeMeo will let it fly against any defense. Avanzato now on the near side.
And it looks like they have a shorty on the crease and then a shorty right here on this low lefty spot. So if I'm Towson, I'm probably going to try and initiate from that area against that short stick. And then you got to get the defense rotating, and you can't be afraid to throw it inside of the crease against the zone.
Under 15 seconds on the shot clock. Tough shot off the post. It resets it, but Gates has a beat on the ground ball. He can't win it. Tigers unable to take advantage of Gates out of the crease, but they do get a fresh 60.
Yeah.
It's a good take by Reed, just rung the crossbar. Schilling working at X, now DeMeo. DeMeo knocked down, has to shovel it behind. Avanzato, no pressure.
Yeah, just a little. This is kind of what zones do to offenses. It just looks a little stale for Towson. You'll see some of the Hofstra defensemen switching hands on their long poles. The reason being just you want that stick to the inside to kind of create that forest, if you will, of long poles. So we'll see if Towson can break it here.
Trying to create a little bit of space. Nice deflection by Hofstra. Ball comes all the way out to midfield. Kept in by Weber, but the shot clock's winding down and a shot clock violation. Nice stand by Hofstra.
Yeah. Big win for the defense there.
They played you look at essentially 2 shot clocks worth. You're looking at 2+ minutes of defense there, and they hold.
And not the cleanest of clears, but back in the offensive end, and it's similar to last week, Travis. We've again the hot NASCAR start in the first quarter, but we've seen the defenses and goalies now settle in. Kind of getting back to our normal, maybe slower pace of play that these two teams traditionally will play.
Here comes Matt Elder, has a goal. Feeds to Justin Sykes. Trying to get the hand free. Squeezes it by. The Oakville, Ontario natives on the board. Hofstra back up by 4.
Sykes, the lefty, in the 2-man game behind the cage. Canadian players obviously not known for their dodging ability behind the goal, right? Box lacrosse is played up in front, but they know how to get to the rack and score, and Hofstra's no stranger to awesome Canadian players. Obviously, the one that comes to mind is Josh Byrne from a couple of years ago, who is now having an incredible career for the Chaos Lacrosse Club in the PLL and in the NLL as well for the Buffalo Bandits.
Yeah, that Bandits team, man, they are loaded.
Yeah, fun to watch.
For sure, they may be the favorite indoors. Like Chaos, pretty much the same team outdoors, so they've got
Yeah.
good continuity between NLL
Absolutely.
and PLL.
Yep.
Face-off win for the Tigers. Feed inside. Schilling was open, just couldn't get that quick stick out in time, and a great ground ball by Daniel Oakes.
Yeah, those are, I mean, we talk, you got to throw it inside against the zone. Those are the passes you've got to handle, right? If Towson catches that, they score a dunk, most likely, but they don't. And Oakes, you mentioned, first-time ground ball with 2 guys on him. Those are the tough plays you need, especially late in the season, right? You can have all the schemes and tactics you want as coaches, but we both know that, the players are the guys that cross the lines. And when you're able to just put your head down, get a tough ground ball like that, it sends a message not only to your teammates that you're ready to make a tough play, but to the other team that everything's going to have to be earned.
Elder taking his time with the ball here for Hofstra. Is the matchup with Mo Silla.
Little double shorty invert behind.
Colton Rudd. Another Georgia native is part of this Pride offense. Great movement and another one. He got Sykes again. He's got 2 in a row.
We mentioned Canadian players dodging, but if I had to take a pick, I think that's their bread and butter. They're able to cut and finish, right? The goal looks huge to them after growing up, most likely playing box lacrosse. And I like Hofstra there. Just a patient, long possession. You go with the double shorty invert. That's kind of confusing to a defense because your poles are most likely going to be antsy to slide. And it looks like they just got caught ball watching there for an easy goal.
Another scrum off this face-off. Ball squirts into the Towson offensive end and finally picked up by Schilling.
Timeout, yeah.
That was smart.
Nice ground ball by Schilling.
Tigers trailing by 5 here. Want to make sure they preserve that possession with 4:40 to go in this first half. So Towson knows that they are in the CAA tournament no matter what happens today. However, if they win, they make sure that they clinch the top seed in the tournament. Doesn't matter in terms of hosting because we know we're going to be in Philadelphia next week, but they would get the top seed in that tournament on Thursday. They can also clinch the top seed if Fairfield wins later on today over Delaware. We've talked about the Hofstra situation. They have to win. They also need Fairfield to win later on. Drexel, they're just rooting for Delaware. They're sitting at home waiting this afternoon for 1 o'clock Eastern time, about 10 minutes from now when that Delaware-Fairfield game kicks off right here on Lax Sports Network. You can watch it on ftfnext.com. It'll be on our second channel here on LSN, that Fairfield-Drexel game, or Fairfield-Delaware game. Drexel needing Delaware to win. Delaware has to win or needs Towson to come back here and get a victory over Hofstra. And Fairfield, everything's in front of them. Win and you're in, lose and you're out. Those are the only scenarios that the Stags are worried about. But Mark, as we look at all the scenarios, no matter what 4 teams are in this thing, Thursday is going to be unbelievable because any of the 4 teams will be able to win this tournament, winning 2 games in 3 days.
Right, and the evidence for that is right here in front of us with Hofstra with a 9-4 lead, with 5 minutes left in the first half. And it's kind of just a dog-eat-dog conference. They're similar schools, along the East Coast. Tough coaches, some great coaches. Greg Cannella been at UMass for 20-plus years. Coach Tierney, Coach Nadelin, coaches that have had successful years in and out. And if you don't show up, you're going to get beat. As evidenced here, we talked about in the opening, right? A hungry dog runs faster, and Hofstra certainly had the edge early in this game, and they're about to make a play here.
Yeah, Hagerty, a chance for that ground ball. It was picked up by Schilling, but around the back, he can't make the play. And then McIntosh able to win it to himself. So Hofstra gets another cause turnover.
Yeah, and you wonder, again, with just the scenarios coming into this week, right? Towson with a big win last week. They know that they're in the conference tournament. Does this game mean as much to them as it does to Hofstra? I don't think so. You have to wonder what that does to players' psyche. I'm sure Coach Nadelin doesn't feel that way. I'm sure he wants to get a win here and get confidence and momentum going into the conference tournament. But you just don't know kind of what the mindset is of the players. And Hofstra with their backs up against the wall, that they're throwing the kitchen sink out at Towson today, and they've executed well so far.
This is Turner around the corner, diving, missed it. Rebound, Kane couldn't pick up the ground ball. Still up in the air, and it's coming out of the cages. Brendan who gets the ground ball.
Nice pass, too, to get it out. You got numbers, maybe.
Lendl settle it down here. But you bring up the point. We asked Sean Nadelin about it when we talked to him this week about, okay, like, how do you approach this game? He's like, we want to win. We want to finish it off, but sometimes it's different. Berkeley down on the doorstep. There's DeMeo. So there we go. Towson, not exactly fast, but in that early offense, and they create an opportunity.
Yeah. Berkeley to DeMeo. I think that's the third time now today that those guys have connected. And you'll see in the sub game here, Berkeley with kind of just a nice backdoor cut. And he has a clean 4-on-3. I love this too. Set your feet, eyes, shoulders, hands all look like he's pulling up to shoot. And he dumps it off to DeMeo, who's probably going to score that 10 out of 10 times on the crease there. Those are the goals that can kind of get some momentum rolling back towards Towson's way.
Nick DeMeo with a hat trick here today. He almost had to walk back from Connecticut last week. He had a ground ball play that we saw here on LSN last weekend where he went one-handed for the ground ball, and Towson didn't keep the possession. Sean Nadelin, luckily for Nick DeMeo, had tested positive for COVID and was out due to COVID protocol, so he was not able to make the trip. But what we learned from Sean Nadelin this week, that he was screaming at his television while watching Nick DeMeo go one-handed for the ground ball. Needless to say, I don't think Nick DeMeo will be going one-handed at any ground balls here today.
Yeah, I would imagine that. I'm sure Coach Nadelin, I'm sure, got his point across to Nick. And, accountability being one of the words that Coach Nadelin preaches to his team. That's kind of a standard of Towson lacrosse. And I'm sure Nick learned his lesson from that.
Matt Gates with the stop on Berkeley. Hofstra is frustrated about a call.
Yeah,
Berkeley's down.
Yeah, it looked like he went down. Hence the stoppage there. I hope Berkeley's all right.
He's holding that right knee.
Yeah.
He has been such a huge part of Towson's success this year. 3 assists already today. He set up all 3 of Nick DeMeo's goals. Let's see if we see anything on this replay. I don't know if it was when he landed, possibly.
Yeah.
He went right.
Tough to tell from the replay, obviously, but it could have been when he took off for that jump shot. It looked like there was some contact with that Hofstra defender.
He's being checked out by the training staff here for the Tigers.
You're hoping it's just maybe a knee-to-knee type of bruise, but
transfer from Maryland. He grad student actually at Maryland, and limping off, but at least going off under his own power.
Yeah. Hope he's all right and able to come back and compete. You mentioned a massive part of this Towson team, but unfortunately, that's the man in the arena right there, right? Injuries are a part of the sport. I think that's why, it makes it, unfortunately, more exciting and competitive. In my opinion, the kind of the mindset I've had is that you never know when your last play might be, right? So try to take every practice, every game, as if it may be your last. I think that's led me to some personal success in my playing career, but we hope the best for Kyle, and he's able to come back today.
So Hofstra has the possession. Looking for another. They've not scored double-digit goals since the win over Delaware back on April 9th. Looking to do that here in the first half. Minute 15 to go.
And they're doing a nice job just, again, grinding, running the shot clock down. I mean, obviously they're not in stall mode in the first half, but I think I mentioned 11 as the number they got to get to score, and, they're well above that pace, obviously. So this would be a big momentum goal here as we wind down under a minute.
Griffin Turner takes his man behind. Down to 15 seconds of the shot clock. Jones. 8 seconds left to shoot. Lutfi to Ardrey. 4 seconds. Has to put something on frame. Did he get a piece of that? No. So Hofstra keeps it, but only 1 second of the shot clock.
Yeah, and not the worst possession. I think that's probably the second best outcome other than scoring is you run, 80 seconds off the shot clock. Towson has to clear now and then get their guys on the field to try and score a goal before halftime.
So 23 seconds to go. See if the Tigers can get one more back. These late half situations can be big momentum changers.
Look in, look inside, look through.
5 seconds left. Chop Gallagher flips. Stewart spins on the doorstep.
Wow.
Did they get it off? No! They'll wave it off, not out of his stick in time.
Wow.
Oh, that was so close.
Yeah.
It has to be out of the stick. Doesn't have to cross the goal line, but it has to be out of the stick in time, and it was not. This is the play. Stewart to Avanzato.
Great pass.
Down to Schilling. They thought it was good, but the time ran out. So it's 9-5 here at the half on LSN. The Pride with a 4-goal lead. Getting ready for the start of the second half here between Towson and Hofstra. Our CAA game of the week on Lax Sports Network. A 9-5 game here at halftime as we get ready for the start of this third quarter. The sun is out, 60 degrees in Greater Baltimore. It's hard to get much better than this. Hofstra needs a win if they want to keep their hopes alive of playing next Thursday in the CAA semis. They also need some help, and that help that they need is happening right now. Fairfield has to win, along with Hofstra to win, getting a win, if Hofstra wants to play next week, and so far it's 2-1. As you can see on the bottom part of your screen, Fairfield with an early lead at home against Delaware. That game is happening right now live here on LaxSportsNetwork.com. It's on the second channel. You just got to go down past the main feed, and you can watch Delaware and Fairfield live here on LSN as well. So we will keep tabs on this game throughout the rest of this second half, because for Hofstra fans, not only do you have to take care of business here today, but you also need some help. So by 3 o'clock, we will know who the 4 teams are, but still a lot up in the air for the CAA tournament.
Yeah, and I'm sure the players probably not too interested on Hofstra's end at halftime there, probably just focused on themselves. But you wonder if maybe one of the assistant coaches has his phone and is checking some live stats during the second half of this game for Hofstra.
Tigers win the opening faceoff of this second half. Towson knows they are in the tournament. The only question for them is what seed they will be. A win here today, and they'll be the top seed. The tournament going down next Thursday at Drexel, Philadelphia. Marcus and I will be on the call for those semifinals on Thursday night, which should be all sorts of fun.
Can't wait. It's going to be electric.
Here's
and
Schilling.
I feel like we're going to have a great second half here.
Oh, that's a tough break there. A crease violation on the stick. I think it was DeMayo who was crashing hard. Yeah, I mean, we saw fireworks in the first quarter. Things settled down a bit in the second, but you just get the feeling that there's a Tigers run coming at some point.
Yep.
You mentioned Kyle Berkeley. We saw him go down there in the second quarter. John Stark, the sports information director for the Towson men's lacrosse team, letting us know that he is expected to return. So that's really good news for Towson.
Yeah, great news for Towson, and obviously great news for Kyle as well. Woo!
This is great news for Sterling Archery. We mentioned, man, it's a couple of plays every year. He goes split dodge, right-hand finish. Hofstra strikes first here in the second half.
Sterling Ardrey got incredible quickness and shake. He sounds like a Game of Thrones character. An incredible name, just down the alley. This is old school. A great shot to that far pipe. Nice take by Sterling. And Hofstra keeps the momentum going. You know, you wondered about that. Towson got that goal called off right before halftime. Lacrosse is such a momentum sport. And for Hofstra to come out and get a quick stop defensively and then a goal just kind of keeps the momentum going with them, and they have a nice 5-goal cushion now.
Ground ball scooped up there by Sam Morin, the LSM. Gets the Tigers their second straight possession. And to get it over midfield here at a couple of seconds left, and there is Kyle Berkeley. So he looks to be all right. He's got some tape there on the right knee. That's what he was holding when he went down, but he's back in the game.
Yeah, good to see Berkeley back. The guy I would like to maybe see a little bit more out of is Avanzato. He's a guy we highlighted in the Open. He had a nice goal in transition, but other than that, been a little bit quiet in the 6-on-6 set. We'll see if we can get any production out of him on the Towson side of the ball.
And there's one from Avanzato right on cue.
Guess that's why they pay me the big bucks, huh?
That's for sure. What a shot. I mean, the defense just froze. They didn't even know it went in.
Yeah. And similar to that one he had last week against Fairfield, just kind of coming up the right hash, but a tough read for the goalie. And then, I mean, you got the placement of that, right? I coaching young shooters, just the best place to shoot is the furthest place away from that goalie's stick head, which is his off stick side. And I mean, for any goalie, that's just a really tough save. And Avanzato on cue just gets a goal for Towson.
Face-off win for Chase Patterson for Hofstra. The Pride get a possession back. First face-off win of the second half for Hofstra.
And Patterson with a big win again. You know, we talked about momentum. Towson scores, but Hofstra is able to counter with a big face-off win. You know, sometimes percentages are important for face-off guys, but, you know, timing of wins is equally as important.
Here's Archery, full head of steam. Brennan read that one. Good quick outlet as well.
They got Kobe.
Here comes Kobe Smith. Fakes, feeds down on the doorstep.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. That is why he's playing in the PLL this summer. Great fake, and he feeds Luke Schilling.
Schilling, Johnny on the spot, stick up in that skip lane, and a nice job finishing. But obviously this play is created from the save from Brennan, right? If you're able to make clean saves like this, especially from shots up top, you can spark the transition. And again, Thursday, May 10th is the PLL Collegiate Draft, and we definitely expect Kobe Smith's name to be called. His stick handling skills, obviously he can play on-ball defense as well as any LSM in the country, but his ability to stretch the defense with, a 2-point shot, and then you can see there that threat of a scoring ability extends the defense, and he's able to find the crease attackman for a Towson transition goal.
I mean, he's a guy he's now picked up Dylan McIntosh. He's a guy whose name in these broadcasts we don't say a lot, and a lot of it just is because with his one-on-one matchup, teams just don't go to him because he's been that good over the course of his career. Right,
and that kind of a common theme with LSMs, like, usually the strategy offensively is dodge the short sticks, right? So, it's almost like he only gets his name called when he crosses the midfield line in the offensive end.
I mean, and Kobe Smith is pro ready. You look up and down the matchups he's had throughout his college career at Towson, as that one slides through. Just beat Brennan. Hofstra back up by 4. Justin Sykes has his third today.
The Canada to Long Island pipeline is alive and well. And this is just kind of a vintage Canadian Dodge, right? You're trying to take away the middle of the field, but these guys and their low angle shooting, right? Shooting on a box goal, which is, 4 feet by 4 feet, and then moving to an outdoor field lacrosse goal. It's almost unfair with some of these Canadians and their shooting percentages, as Sykes is able to score on a low angle shot there.
Well, Hofstra wins the faceoff, but Towson hounding Chase Patterson, and the Tigers will get the possession. Back to Kobe Smith, though. You go up and down the list of guys he's had to defend one-on-one for Towson throughout his career. It's Pat Spencer, it's Jeff Teat, it's Matt Moore and Connor Schellenberger from Virginia. I mean, Grant Ament. I mean, it's all the guys that are now playing in the pros. He's gone one-on-one against these guys. Schilling has it stopped. Michael Sowers last year when he was playing for Duke.
Yeah. And Coach Nadalon mentioned that, tough out-of-conference schedule, not only for Kobe, obviously, but for his team to get ready for CAA play. And they positioned themselves in a good spot now late in the season with a 3-1 conference record. Nice save there by Matt Gates. I don't want to bypass that. Towson with a good, again, another look inside against this zone defense, but Gates was able to get pipe to pipe there and, put the wall up.
So Hofstra gets another possession up by 4. Early part of this second half. Travis Eldridge and Marcus Holman with you here. Our CAA Game of the Week on LSN. Hofstra looking to close the regular season with a win and keep their hopes alive of playing in the postseason. Need a win and a Fairfield victory later on this afternoon.
Back to the double invert for Hofstra to kind of initiate their offense.
Here's Colton Rudd all the way around the crease. He is hounded by Kobe Smith.
And Towson looks like they're pressing out a little bit more.
Nice save by Brennan. Yeah, we had a Hofstra player down back behind the play. We'll keep an eye on him. I think it was Rudd, as Avanzato and Towson get set up offensively.
They might have numbers here, it looks like.
Bender steps in, floats it back outside. That's a tough catch for Andrew Milani.
Towson's second midfield unit in here. Hoping for production from your second line.
Avanzato draws a flag.
Yeah.
Went up high with that check. So man up coming for the Tigers. Great movement there. Backside shot is wide, and that'll trigger the penalty. Marcus, with this zone that we've seen from Hofstra, it's been pretty effective. If you're the Tigers, in terms of movement, what would you change?
Yeah, I mean, I think mentioning it earlier, you can't be afraid to look inside, right? And then, the second piece of a zone is the reason why they're successful is because it kind of forces you as an offense to just rely on passing, and sometimes you forget to dodge. But as we saw Avanzato score on that, possession or two prior, sometimes you just got to challenge your matchup and not be afraid to step in from 8 to 10 yards, and continuing to be aggressive. You saw him get fouled there. Now they're man up, and this is an opportunity I think you got to capitalize on if you're Towson.
So 1 minute slashing penalty. Tigers 43% on the extra man this year, but 0 for 2 now today. Is that pass just too ambitious?
That's a little bit of a force. Hofstra in a 4-man rotation on man down, which means that they're going to shut the crease off. And usually obviously if you're shutting the crease off, shots are going to come on the perimeter, but I thought that was maybe just a little too ambitious. I think just only 20 seconds or so into a penalty.
So still about 30, 35 seconds that Hofstra has to run off of this penalty. So it'll be keep away for the Pride for a bit. And Justin Sykes, 3 goals so far today. Came in today with only 10 on the year. Having a big-time performance. And a couple more seconds left to go. And we are back to even strength now. Taking it behind is James Philbin. Haven't said his name yet. Grad student rolls inside, draws the double team.
Ooh. Good physical slide there from Towson, but nice job retaining possession there. Got clobbered.
Reese Potter jumps out. Lutfi feeds McIntosh again. They got the defense scrambling after Potter tried to jump that pass, and McIntosh has 4.
Although he played for a different Long Island college, I'm getting big Kevin Crowley vibes from Dylan McIntosh. Wearing 21, can shoot, quick release there. Not only can score off the pass, but is able to create his own. It's a nice little pro player comparison. And then another goal by McIntosh, 4 on the day now.
Crowley's Stony Brook Seawolves, soon to be members of the CAA, starting next season. Get ready for those matchups between Hofstra and Stony Brook. They're already good, and now the battle from Long Island will have conference implications.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's cool to see, obviously, college lacrosse continue to expand. Kind of some major conference realignments moving into next year and the following year. It's, again, we can only hope that lacrosse continues to grow in, the southeast of the United States and even out west as well. And it's an exciting time to be a lacrosse fan. No doubt about that.
That is for sure. Exciting time to be a Hofstra fan at the moment. They're up by 5. They're back into this zone defense. From the wing, a shot stopped by Gates.
Those are the saves you got to make. Giving up those 10 to 12-yard shots. Nice work by Gates there. The Cali kid, San Francisco native.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Long Island as a hotbed, but this Hofstra team, a lot of Canada influence. Got a couple of guys from North Carolina and Georgia, bringing people from all over to the island.
That's right.
So Hofstra will settle it down here. Under 5 minutes to go in the quarter. By the way, McIntosh with the 4 goals, that's a new season high. His career high 6 against St. John's back in his freshman season. Here's Ardrey again. Slips down. Colby Bars will make him pay. And Bars with the takeaway.
Yeah. Colby Bars is a guy that, in our interviews with Coach Natalon, he just kept bringing his name up. His versatility to play long stick or close defense. It was just interesting to hear how many times Coach Nads brought up Colby Bars, and you can see why there. He's able to slide under control and put the ball on the ground for a turnover.
Bars, a North Carolina kid, played with Ryan Flanagan's club program. Here's Alex Reed. Towson could use one here, trying to claw their way back as we get ready for the 4th. Good feed. Zameo just high. That was good luck.
Good look, and you see Towson here imploring what I like to call a 55 offense. Well, now Hofstra's got their subs on, but they're keeping an O'Mitty trapped on the field to play 5-on-5. And that doesn't allow Hofstra to get into a zone, but they're able to finally get into it. And Gates with another one. He's heating up a little bit.
And he's got 7 saves now. Came in talking about Brennan, his save numbers in conference play. Gates is putting on a show.
Yep.
Averaging 12 saves per game this year.
I like the decision by Towson to try and play I wouldn't say a gimmicky style of offense, but when you play 5-on-5, obviously you have more space as an offense, number one. And number two, it doesn't allow Hofstra to get set up in their zone, which has kind of stifled Towson offensively today. So we'll see if they implore that more, if they can get quick stops on defense and get those breakouts quick. Here's Hofstra again in their double invert.
Elder rolling on that far side, beat his man just to the side of the cage. Philbin. Skip pass back outside. Justin Sykes already with 3. He now picks up the long pole as Morin, the freshman from Garnet Valley, tracks him.
And they're gonna dump it. Yep. I mean, again, wasting 80 seconds. You get a good shot on cage. I mean, you're not in stall mode yet for Hofstra, but they're definitely controlling the tempo of this game and doing it with stops on the defensive end. And obviously, 12 goals is, I think if you told Coach Tierney going into the game that they would score 12, I think he'd be really excited. And to do it only through 3 quarters is a good recipe for success for Hofstra.
A defense surrounding Josh Weber, and this will go Hofstra's way. I think Weber was laying on it.
Yeah, withholding, I think, was the call. And they can almost run this possession, down to 20 seconds left. We'll see kind of how they handle it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to end up with an empty possession, much better to do it using 80 seconds for Hofstra than to take the shot 10 seconds in and give it right back.
Right.
Look, all season long, this Pride defense, with the exception of a couple of games, mainly that Rutgers loss at home. We've seen Rutgers, how good that offense is at times this year. But with the exception of that, this Hofstra defense has been pretty darn good this season. Been a team that's been up there in the top 20, 25 in goals against. So figuring it out on offense here today through 3 quarters, that's been a huge deal for this Pride program, as that shot is just high. Griffin Turner with a good look. 27 seconds on the shot clock. Just 50 seconds left to go in the quarter. Sterling Ardrey takes his man back to X.
I love this matchup here. Ardrey on Potter.
Ended up in the crease. That's a violation. All right, we saw Towson just miss beating the buzzer at the end of the half. Let's see if they can get one here in the final 30.
Yep, got to get your guys on quick here. You do have enough time. And again, nice look.
Berkeley couldn't come up with it. It was a good give and go with him and DeMeo. 13 seconds to go in the quarter. Berkeley.
He's going to feed double.
All sorts of attention back out. Inside, just off for for Reed. Gates out of the cage. And that is how the 3rd quarter will end. So Towson had a look, just couldn't get the shot off in time. And it's a 5-goal Hofstra lead as we head to the 4th. The Pride try to keep those postseason hopes alive. They're up 12-7 here on LSN, our CAA Game of the Week. "15 minutes to go here at Johnny Unitas Stadium as Hofstra has a 12-7 lead over the Tigers as we get ready to start the 4th in our CAA Game of the Week here on LSN. Travis Eldridge and Marcus Holman back with you. So this is part of the equation for Hofstra to play in Thursday's semifinals here in the CAA. The other part of the equation is they need a Fairfield win against Delaware. So far, Blue Hens have a 5-3 lead. That game currently in the first half. A game you can watch, LaxSportsNetwork.com. Just scroll down on the page and you can see that game between Fairfield and Delaware. Started at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So we will keep tabs on this one as Fairfield just got another one back. A man-up goal for the Stags, cutting the Delaware lead 2-1. So we will keep tabs on that, trying to figure out who will join Towson and UMass in the CAA semis next Thursday that you'll be able to see here on Lax Sports Network.
And your Lax Sports Net viewers are about to go up by 50 or so, because right after this game, Hofstra's getting on the bus, and every single one of their players is going to open up their phone and be tuned into that Fairfield,
yes.
Delaware game.
Yeah, if they win, if they hold on here in the last 15 minutes, the entire team will be locked in to Fairfield, Delaware. They may not leave. They may not leave Maryland yet.
And that could either be a joyous bus ride home or a very sorrowful one. But they got to get the win first.
Yeah, there's DeMeo. He's got 4 today. He has caught fire. We've been waiting all conference season for him to put on this kind of shooting display, and he's on it.
And I'll give you another pro player reference here, and that would be another former CAA player, Will Manny, who played at UMass back in the day. That low to high snappy release is like so hard for goalies to save, and that's kind of DeMeo's bread and butter. So obviously, if you're Hofstra, you got to, if you're in that zone, got to make sure you know where number 24 is on that lefty wing.
He got a goal last week, but going in his first 3 games in CAA play, DeMeo is shooting 2 of 26. Not highly efficient. Today, substantially better. He's 4 of 5. That is what Sean Adelin has been waiting for, and it's coming at the right time of the year.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's, him, Berkeley, Avanzato, those are going to have to be the guys here down the stretch here. We'll see if Towson can kind of just slowly claw their way back into this game.
This is where this Hofstra zone, when you've got to make up a bunch of goals, can be really effective too. It just takes a little bit longer sometimes to get an opportunity.
Yeah, and that's where, again, Towson, you've got to somewhat grind and be deliberate here, but you also have to take chances in transition or off of ground balls. If you could get this defense out of position, that's going to be advantageous to you as an offense.
There
nice
we
passing.
Go. DeMeo feeding inside for Josh Weber. Back-to-back goals for the Tigers. They're within 3.
Yeah, so much of zone offense, too, is just chemistry, right? Like, you could already feel that DeMeo was looking inside before he even, caught this pass. And Hofstra just a little bit slow. Looks like they might have missed a rotation there. Catch and shoot.
5th goal of the season for Josh Weber, the sophomore out of Sykesville, Maryland. First season of play for him here for the Tigers after not playing a year ago. Constantinides wins it forward. Here comes Constantinides all the way in.
Oh, baby.
3 in a row.
Officially on fire. And you hear the crowd. They're into it. Last game here at Johnny Unitas Stadium for these seniors, honoring the 2017 team. I wasn't sure how they would handle this 4th quarter being down by 5, We already talked about their, status being locked up in the playoffs, but they're shot out of a cannon here. 3 straight goals, and they're not going down without a fight.
What a time for the freshman to score his first career goal.
Yeah, that's epic. Love the celly, too. Just you're so excited, you don't really know what to do. You just swing your stick in the air as hard as you can.
He's like, wait, I've been waiting all year for this.
Yeah.
He's had a terrific freshman season. You mentioned it before, 57% at the faceoff dot in conference play, the freshman from New Fairfield, Connecticut. But Hofstra wins the faceoff, and now they could really use a goal.
Yep.
Leading only by 2.
This is where you want your leaders to step up. McIntosh today, obviously it's been Sykes. We'll see if the Canucks can get another momentum goal here for Hofstra.
Getting free there. Good look for Griffin Turner.
Be interesting to see Gerard Kane. He's kind of been quiet since I think his first couple goals or couple takes.
Yeah, that big number 99 is hanging around the crease still. Ardrey on the run, ricochets, kept out by Brennan. Rebound shot just high.
Ardrey's not shy. I love the way he dodges hard, gets to the middle of the field. He's able to shoot with both hands. He's had a couple saved, but I like the aggressiveness that he's attacking the goal with.
Here's Turner working against Reese Potter. Now over to Ardrey.
He wants that right hand.
Still 30 seconds left of the shot clock. Gets that right hand free. Ooh. Wide. Another long settled set here for Hofstra. They've had a couple of good looks. Here's McIntosh. He's been the hot hand.
Look out.
Trail
Ooh.
check.
Yeah, I think that's a turnover. Yeah, that's good slide by Towson there.
Towson defense said, hey, you got 4 on us. We're going to make sure that this one's not easy.
Yeah, you'd think so, right? He's catching that ball in the same spot he scored earlier on a very similar take, and Towson was obviously ready to slide there and contest his shot.
So Tigers a chance to get back within 1. Towson led early in this game 2-1. As that skip pass gets deflected up in the air.
Ooh.
Chop Gallagher taking your life in your hands, making that catch.
Chop Gallagher just got chopped in half while getting that GB. Way to hang in there and eat one for the team.
So Tigers keep possession. Schilling. No look, skip pass, Gallagher to the left. Bounce shot kept out by Gates. Juicy rebound.
Yep.
Daniel
Nice
Oakes
job.
spins out of trouble.
Good ground ball again by Oakes. That's twice now. He's got a couple really tough ones around the crease. Matt Gates with the low and away save.
Sorry, I misspoke. Towson has not led in this game. It was a 2-0 lead for Hofstra. Tigers came back to tie it up at 2.
Yeah.
But they've never jumped over that mark. Donovan Rock's pass deflected, goes out of bounds. Stays with the Pride. Rock, one of those guys that is getting an opportunity due to some of the injuries that Hofstra has dealt with, and he's gotten some good minutes today. Pass squeezed it into McIntosh. He pinballs his way around.
Look
Rock
out.
inside, and he's in the crease. Brendan, by the way, now into double digits in saves with 10.
Yeah, kind of like quiet though, you know, just I don't think any of them have been too flashy, but he's, you know, consistently been kind of a steady Eddie this year for Towson and Cage.
Now under 8.5 to play. Stewart.
And again, I see Kobe Smith staying on the field up at the top of your screen, right? This allows Towson to play 5-on-5, forcing Hofstra to go man-to-man.
So,
and you're usually going to want to pick on that short stick. Here you go.
Stewart. I think he had Schilling there for a second. Instead, puts a shot on Cage wide.
Let's see if Hofstra subs off here. That's what they did last possession. Yep, looks like they got 6 guys in now defensively, yeah.
Berkeley, skip pass across DeMeo. By the way, he has now set the single season shots record in Towson history.
What's that number, Travis? Do you have that number in front of you?
Give me 1 second here. We will dig it up. 138 now as he cashes in. It's a 1-goal game. Schilling on the feed from behind.
And he can pass. DeMeo on the feed. That was crazy. This is why I tell attackmen under 10 seconds, like, take a run at the cage. Pretty sure Avanzato's shooting this, but watch DeMeo catch, look in. Just how they drew it up, right, Coach?
He was celebrating before that ball even went in the back of the net. He just knew it.
Wow. And if you're Hofstra there, that's like kind of a backbreaker. You play great defense for 78 seconds. There's not much you can do about that. Wow.
A risky pass up there at midfield, but Gallagher makes the catch. Here comes John Bender. And the Tigers a chance to pull even for the first time since we were tied at 2.
Wow.
4-0 run here to start the fourth quarter.
No surprises here. Final regular season weekend in a conference that has literally just been neck and neck, no matter what the records are. We've got a 1-goal game with under 7 minutes here in the fourth quarter. I love it.
Just how everybody expected this one to go. We've had 1-goal games throughout the entire conference every week. Gallagher.
Good defense there.
Oh, from distance. Chop Gallagher. Ties it at 12.
It's the commentator jinx. My apologies to Corey Gale, because he did a nice job on that initial sweep attempt by Gallagher, but wasn't able to just kind of know where he is on the field, and Gallagher steps in. That's deep. What is that, 15?
Yeah.
14 yards, and, overhand goes. That's a huge goal for Towson. Wow.
And we've got a timeout on the field. We'll step aside. We got ourselves a ball game. Knotted at 12, 6:37 to play. A 5-0 run to start this fourth quarter for Towson, and the Tigers roaring back to tie things up at 12 apiece. Here at our CAA Game of the Week on LSN. Travis and Marcus back with you. Marcus, man, we knew, we said it. We thought there's probably going to be a Towson run here at some point, and it comes just in time here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And DeMeo's kind of been, I think he's had a goal and an assist in this run. Obviously, Chop Gallagher with that last step-back goal was huge. Oh, baby, trouble.
Hofstra able to get out of it. Now they have a advantage, and they get it back. Flagged out as well. Justin Sykes has his fourth.
That's a big and one goal there for Sykes.
Just when you thought all the momentum was going the other way. How about that? That's where the flag is. It came in late.
Another just overhand goal there. Sykes with the silky smooth hands. You see the box fake. And now Hofstra man up face off with the lead. That's a huge goal, huge play there.
Sykes matching a career high now with 4 goals. Also did it back in 2020 in that shortened COVID season against Wagner. Colby Bars called for the minute slash, but Towson wins the faceoff. So now they can play keep away, at least kill off the penalty.
Yeah. Wow, that's a huge face-off win. Did Hofstra jump there? Yeah, that's just,
violation.
Oh, man. That's tough. That's definitely a situation where you don't want to jump as a face-off guy, but luckily they were able to score on that Sykes goal and give them a small cushion now.
Back up by 1. 5:22 is when the penalty will be released here in the game clock. So about 20 more seconds for the Tigers to kill off, and they'll have about 19, 20 seconds where they can play 6-on-6 offense. Hofstra, time on their side, up by 1, not pressing out too much. They'll just let the Tigers kill off this penalty.
Yep.
And now we are back to even strength as Chop Gallagher comes on.
All right, got to move quick here if you're Towson.
Avanzado, got it! Tied at 13.
Can't really go much quicker than that. Just catch, square up the shorty, and let it fly. This will be a nice view for this shot here. Avanzado. Woo! The near side. Gas. How did he sneak that in there? That was incredible. What a take from Avanzado.
So he has a hat trick today. He and DeMeo have combined now for 7 goals in this one. The attack unit getting it done for the Tigers. Big face-off. And Towson wins it, Austin Stewart. Tigers have not led in this game.
Big GB there by Austin Stewart. Kind of like a Swiss Army knife for Towson. Coming into this game, 9 goals, 8 assists. And obviously taking face-off wings. That's impressive.
Stewart working at X. Draws a pull now.
Someone's got a matchup. They just drew it. Nice job by Hofstra switching back. Avanzado tried to pop out to get it there.
Sets the screen for Schilling. And now
they got the matchup. Yep.
Ford quickly there on the slide. Berkeley has some room to track down the ground ball. Still 30 seconds of the shot clock. DeMeo. He's got the short stick now.
Coming back.
I think that was a shot. Not a successful one. Look out from behind. Great effort here. Check out the hustle by Weber.
Yeah. And a nice job by 22 on Hofstra being strong in the clear. Richie Hicks. Right, usually those D-mids are some of the more athletic, stronger guys on the team, and you see there why he's able to absorb a couple checks and motor his way down the sideline.
So Hofstra a chance to respond. 3:20 to play. Led by 5 coming into this fourth quarter. We're now tied at 13. 7 combined goals here in the fourth. We saw 11 goals in the first quarter.
Right, Sykes and McIntosh have been hot, but you can't forget about Gerard Kane, number 99. He'll be sneaking around on that lefty pipe.
Here is McIntosh. He now has Kobe Smith blanketing him.
Yeah.
Towson said enough of that. Sykes has been good today too. Pass is a little low, but collected by Jones. 8 seconds left of the shot clock. Gotta hurry. Feed in front, and it's McIntosh again. He's got 5.
Just late in the shot clock. Defenses are definitely susceptible to just ball watching, right? Because, you know, you want to be able to slide and support your team. And I think Kobe Smith just maybe got caught ball watching there for a second. And obviously McIntosh, crafty Canadian, sneaking behind his head and able to catch and bury. Has he missed? I think he might be 5 for 5 today.
McIntosh is 5 for 6. He has missed once. That is what we call efficiency.
Yep.
A big face-off win for Hofstra.
And you're still, you know, if you're Towson, you got to just play defense here. You know you're going to get the ball back with the shot clock. And Hofstra, stay aggressive, right? You're probably going to run it down a little bit here, but a goal here would do you wonders.
They can take.
I think that's the beauty of, Travis, the beauty of the shot clock now, just in this, you know, age of lacrosse where in you know, years past you'd be able to just sit on this ball and potentially end the game, but just makes it a little bit more exciting, and you really have to earn every single victory. coming down to the buzzer here.
Yeah, they can take this down if they hold on to it to around a minute 15, minute 20.
But I still think you want to be aggressive. Yeah, they're back to the double invert. You want to attack the cage here, and they're doing a nice job taking the clock down. And here we go, Sykes on a shorty.
15 seconds to go on the shot clock. Less than 90 in the game. Sykes.
Good defense.
Outside Lutfi, saved by Brennan. Had to have it.
Might push here if you're Towson, maybe.
Here comes Kobe Smith.
Let's see if they keep him on. Right? You might not want to call a timeout here.
Yeah, they are keeping Kobe Smith on. You've seen this strategy.
I like it. The decision by Towson. Don't let Hofstra get set up in that zone that's kind of giving you issues today.
Here we go. Weber feeds back Berkeley. Bounce, and he goes! Berkeley ties it at 14 with 40 seconds to play.
Huge goal by Berkeley. And a little bit of sweet irony for him. He got hurt on a very similar shot and dodge attempt in the first half. And kudos to that young man for coming back after what looked to be a scary injury and obviously a huge goal for Towson there. Wow, this has been fun.
40 seconds left, all square at 14 apiece. Hofstra's postseason hopes hanging in the balance. They have to win.
Brian Herber, huge face-off win. You're probably going to get a timeout here from Coach.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah. Oh, baby. I love it.
25 seconds left to go, and they'll have one more chance to try to win this in regulation. So Hofstra needs to win today to keep their postseason hopes alive. They also need a win by Fairfield. Unfortunately for the Pride, it's the Blue Hens, Delaware, that has a lead in the first half over Fairfield. But you got to take care of your side of things first and then see what happens. And they have an opportunity here in the final 27 seconds. Marcus, I mean, we've seen them execute in late clock situations. Yeah. What do you like here?
Well, I think obviously McIntosh has been the guy, right? He's got the hot hand. He's 5 for 6. I mean, a good adage I have heard, from being a former Division I, assistant coach is in these crunch situations, you got to think players and not plays, right? So how can they get the ball into McIntosh's hands? Maybe try to get him a switch onto a short stick. They've been going to that double invert. So I would like to see Sykes initiate if he has a short stick, or McIntosh if they can get him a switch. Those guys have kind of had the hot hands for Hofstra. And then for Towson, obviously, maybe you just pull both of those guys and just kind of take them out of their comfort zone. I don't know if Towson has been a big zone team. I don't know if that's the move right now if you're not comfortable with that defense. But if I was Towson, I'd be pulling number 14 and number 21 and not really let them even touch the ball in this situation.
And then you always got to keep an eye on Gerard Kane. He's been quiet since the beginning when he scored a couple of early goals, but especially if there's a rebound look, he's been hovering around the crease.
So let's see. So they shorty Sykes.
They put the ball in Turner's hands. 20 seconds to play.
There's a mumbo. Oh, look out. No.
Jones lost it for a second, lost valuable time. Jones has to go. Shot to score! Rory Jones puts Hofstra in front with under 10 seconds to play.
Rory Jones, the hometown kid, out of St. Paul's, which is about 6 minutes from Towson. Oh my goodness. Definitely not the way that Hofstra and Seth Tierney drew it up, right? But the reason we love this game. We drop the ball, we pick it up, and hey, sometimes you just got to beat your guy and put a shot on the goal.
So here we go, 6 seconds. Konstantinides has to win it forward. He can't. 3. And that is how this game will end. Rory Jones, the redshirt freshman, keeps Hofstra's postseason hopes alive. 15-14. The Pride win the regular season finale.
Travis, and I got to say, on that last face-off, Towson looked like they popped it forward, and I think it hit the ref's leg and kind of halted that momentum potentially for a fast break there on that final face-off. But kudos to Hofstra, man. Out to an early lead, able to hang on. And Rory Jones, as you mentioned, big-time players step up in big games. That's all I got to say.
How about this redshirt freshman season for the Maryland kid? He has at least a point in every game this year for Hofstra. His second goal here of the day wins it here, not far from his hometown of Abington, Maryland. What a moment for that kid, number 5 in blue. He panicked for a second. That ball squirted all the way out toward midfield when he makes the play.
It looked like they were trying to get McIntosh free on a screen, and I think Rory Jones was going to be the feeder, and he was probably thinking about passing it before he caught it. And then, able to scoop it up and not only score, but take a pull. I think that was Colby Bars maybe on defense right to the rack. And those are the type of goals that, one, you'll remember forever, but 2, maybe spark a lot of confidence for him, leading into his sophomore year, whether it's in the playoffs next week or moving into next season for Hofstra. But what a moment.
Rory Jones wins it for the Pride. We'll be back to wrap this one up. Our CAA Game of the Week on LSN. Hofstra victorious. Travis Eldridge and Marcus Holman back with you to recap Hofstra's 15-14 win over Towson here in our CAA Game of the Week on LSN. So the Pride, Marcus, are still alive in the chase for a spot in the CAA semifinals. We came into today knowing that UMass and Towson were in. The question is, who's going to fill out that spot? Well, Hofstra keeps themselves in the mix. They're now tied with Drexel, finishing their 5 conference games at 2-3. The final game left in this puzzle, Delaware and Fairfield. It's going on right now. Delaware leads 9-6 at the half. You can watch that second half right here on LaxSportsNetwork.com. Just scroll down on the page. You can see that game at the moment as they get ready to start the second half. So what does that mean? Well, if things stand now and Delaware is able to hold on, that would put Hofstra out because Hofstra needs Fairfield to win. It would put Drexel in that spot along with Delaware in the conference tournament. If Fairfield can come from behind and win, Fairfield would find themselves in along with Hofstra to round out the final 2 spots, leaving Delaware and Drexel out. So that is what is at stake here in that final game. So Delaware knows win and they are in. Fairfield knows win and they are in. And then Drexel and Hofstra left to try to figure out what happens in that last game. So Marcus, you're with us here for the semifinals on Thursday. We don't know who's going to be playing, but we know we're probably in for a treat.
No, all we know is that the games are at Drexel. I think the times have been established, but we don't know who's playing who or who the favorites are. It is just wide open in the CAA. And, I got to say, just kudos to Hofstra for coming down and just, winning on the road. And no matter what happens, obviously they're not really in control of their destiny at this current moment. But, if they're not eligible for the conference tournament, definitely some momentum for them going into the offseason. With a big win here over a conference rival.
Yeah, credit to them because they knew they still needed a lot to happen here in this final week in order to make the tournament, but they took care of theirs, and they came out motivated like I don't think we've seen here in conference play. They really impressed me today. Yeah,
and good for them. And then, on the other side of the coin, obviously with Towson, a tough loss, but again, there's positives to be taken. From, being down by 5 going into the fourth quarter, showing that you can come back and compete, so I think they're set up well. You had your star players play really well today. DeMeo with 4 goals, Avanzado with a hat trick, Berkeley with 3 assists. I think they're set up well with, although this is a tough loss for them, I'm sure they would have liked to win, obviously, but, they should feel pretty confident going into next week as well, no matter who they play.
We will be back with you for the semifinals here in the CAA starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. 4 o'clock the first semi, 7 o'clock the second one. We'll figure out later on this afternoon who's playing. But for now, that'll do it for us here from Towson. We'll be back on Thursday for the semis from Philadelphia. But we say so long here at this moment. Once again, your final score. Hofstra 15, Towson 14 for Marcus Holman and the rest of our crew. I'm Travis Eldridge saying so long from Maryland.